Precision Racing League proudly presents your American PS4 F1 Championship Series, Season number 11, full-time driver roster and manufacturer assignments. Alfa Romeo Sauber F1 Team, McSendon and Aaron Webb. Mercedes AMG Petronas Motorsports, Marquesas and D-News. Renault Sports Formula One Team, Aerostrike and Dano. Scuderia Ferrari, Nick Dahi and Aletti. Aston Martin Red Bull Racing, J-Rod and Gordau. McLaren F1 Team, K-Dog and Oxford. Haas F1 Team, Chapa and Prowler. Red Bull Toro Rosso Honda, Brian Mosser and Bubba. Racing Point Force India F1 Team, Diego and AB. Williams Martini Racing, Axton and Soldier. And that is your season number 11 full-time drivers roster and manufacturer assignments. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Precision Racing League proudly presents your Thursday night American PS4 F1 Championship Series. I'm your host for this evening, Hootius. Out there in Twitch land, you know me as Old Man Hoot. And here we go, the final race of the calendar year of 2018. This is season number 11, round number 12. We are in Hungary. This is the Hungaroring circuit. And, you know, the guys are excited. We are going to have a full 2 weeks off after this race, which I will want to start this broadcast out there. Wish everybody happy holidays, a wonderful new year. Hopefully the next couple weeks are filled with wonderful moments spent with family and friends, wonderful food, and maybe a couple amazing beverages for you of certain ages out there in your certain countries. So, but before we get to that, we've got to hit the track one more time. We need a wild one. And the boys have been putting on a lot of practice laps here at the Hungaroring. We might have that wild one. And so, a lot of tire issues, especially our ultra soft tires. We're getting reports they last next to nothing. So, it's going to be super interesting to see what kind of tire strategy gets played out here tonight. With that being said, though, we still have plenty of time here in qualifying, over a dozen minutes left, so we're going to go ahead and back off a moment while these guys are getting their first stint done. We already got a couple guys into the pits getting their second set of tires on already. And for any viewers out there who aren't really familiar with the circuit, let's go ahead and go on a little track tour and get you a little bit more acquainted here with the Hungaroring. Magyarország, Hungary is home of the Hungaroring circuit, host of tonight's Hungary Grand Prix. One lap around the circuit will take you 2.722 miles, featuring 14 turns and realistically only 1.5 DRS zones. This is a very technical track, which is going to keep the drivers on their toes if they want to make any overtakes. Alright, as you begin your lap, this is the longest straightaway on the circuit and a DRS zone for this front stretch. So, really your best opportunity to make an overtake is going to be coming down into turn 1, which is going to be a decently hard braking right-hander, though you have to be careful the exit of pit road that you want to avoid any collisions if somebody's pitting out. Now, there is a second DRS straight right here, but it is very short coming into this 180-degree left-hander that is really not a hairpin at all. It's pretty elongated. So, again, a tricky passing opportunity. You got to bend to the right-hander as you take it flat out. Again, you're going to curve a little bit right here. This quick left-hander with that bump in the curb, that could really end somebody's night if they hit it the wrong way. Again, now you have a long right-hander. You're going to veer off to the left-hand side, hard on the brakes for a right-left chicane. Again, an elevated curving, so if the guys are too aggressive, it really can spin out the car. You're going to go left, right. You're going to make your way to the right side. You got a left-hander that is flat out, but staying on the left-hand side, as you now have a right-hander that you do have to let up for. You're going to hold the left side of this little bit of a straightaway. Decently on the brakes now for this right-hander, and this is going to take you to the ending sequence now of the track. You're going to have a very long left-hander. To the right-hand side, as you exit the turn, is the entrance to pit road. You're going to veer off to the left. Now you have an elongated right-hander. This is turn number 14, the final turn of the circuit, as you gun it going down the front stretch. It's a quick lap. Again, only very few spots to have a clean overtake. Otherwise, guys are going to have to be on their toes to capitalize on others' mistakes. And there you go, just to give you a little bit of a taste of what the drivers are going to experience here tonight. And as you can tell, very tight circuit, very technical circuit, and pretty challenging just by yourself, let alone if you're one of our 17 drivers tonight who, I mean, if they race in a crowd, I have a lot of confidence in this whole field. We got a lot of good guys in here. But everybody's human, and a mistake can happen. And one person making one little mistake, though, it can be a chain reaction. We've seen in the past here where back in F1 2016, the Hungary race there, the leader decided not to run full pace, kind of backed the field up, and we had a train of 8 cars, and same thing. One person made a mistake, and boom, 4 cars right there, broken wings. So the guys are going to be on edge. Hungary is also, in some parts of the world, even though you see there's walls on the outside, it's got a reputation of being Monaco-esque without walls, meaning it's super hard to pass here. One mistake can really cost you, though unlike Monaco, you have a little bit of grass to run off to if you make that mistake. It's just going to be super tight, and turn 1 is going to be key for guys really looking to make those overtakes. Now, we've got a couple guys out on their second stint right now. One being the Toro Rosso of Brian Mosser. In the pit, though, sitting P1 is our points champion right now, our points leader, 2-time champion McSendit, who's been on an absolute tear, who's won 8 races in a row, looking to pretty much win the final 2.5 months of races to close out 2018. It's absolutely nuts. Last time we were here, McSendit won the pole and the race. And you see he's got a very good first stint going on right now. He's still sitting in the pits. He's only done 1 run so far in the first 10 minutes of qualifying, feeling pretty comfy in that Sauber. LSR, what's going on, my man? And we got him in chat. Odoms loves this track, and it showed last time. Finished second. Had the fastest lap of the race. Really the only person who had anything for him extended on that one. Unfortunately, Odom's not here tonight, but still sending my man some love. All right, since McSendit's not coming out, oh, there he goes. Now he's finally coming out of the pits. He'll go ahead and make his turnaround. Right now, sitting P2 in qualifying is Nick Dahi, who's also second place in the points. However, due to the absolute tear McSendit's been on, Dahi is over 3 races of points behind. It's a insanely big gap considering that we're just now starting the second half of the season. Dahi, though, who has the second most podiums this season behind McSendit, he's been very consistent. He's had speed across every track. Just still hasn't gotten that race-winning speed yet. Still looking for it, but tonight might be a night. Dahi is known for great tire management, which could play a huge factor here in this race. Dahi's now coming in the pits. He'll get he will get 1 more stint in, maybe 2, depending on how quick he goes in and out, but Dahi at least gets 1 more. And LSR, thank you so much for the bits, my man. You do so much for this channel and all the generosity and support you give. I love you, brother. Thank you so much. Glad you're here tonight, my man. We get a bunch of people who jump in and out of this channel, but for you to be here tonight on the last commentary broadcast of 2018, that means a lot, man. All right, currently sitting P3 here in qualifying. We got to talk about him. Diego, the man that had everybody rooting for him, had all the drama, and came just a hair short of picking up his first win last week at Hockenheim. It was McSendit crossing the line first, but had multiple time penalties to his name. Diego came up 0.1 second short of covering the delta to claim his first win. Finished second, a personal best. He's had a couple podiums to his name so far this season, but Diego with an absolute, masterful run, but like I said, just a hair short. It was heartbreaking, but in the end, knew it was a great one. And looking to build that momentum off. He's had great speed so far this season. He's currently sitting P3. He's within a half second of McSendit, but a little bit off pace. But he's going to have one more stint out there to go ahead and make up that time. We got to give this man some love right now. We had the camera on him earlier, but the Toro Rosso, Brian Mosser, is sitting P4 right now, which would be a personal best qualifying effort for this young man who has been riding pretty high. Maybe not so much in F1. He scored some points. Not quite the finishes that he would want, but he's gotten some points. Really, he's been on a tear in the GT3 League on Tuesday nights. Back-to-back fourth-place finishes, almost snagged himself a top 5 this past Tuesday at the Texas version of the Roval. So Brian Mosser has been wheeling and dealing here of late, so looking to carry that momentum, and especially if he can keep this going. And matter of fact, he's only a 10th off of Diego, so maybe if Brian could beef that up a little bit, get that 10th, who knows what could happen for this young man looking for his first career podium here in F1. Now, one thing with Brian is he's about to do a lap on the Ultra Softs. This is where the drama has happened in practice this week. Guys complaining the Ultra Softs is barely getting 5 laps on them. So, running this, there's no Super Softs this week. We go Ultras, Softs, and the Mediums. So it'll be interesting to see how these strategies really play out, because if you go Ultra Softs, you absolutely have to go medium to make it to the end of the race. Where if you go soft medium, you can really push both tires and easily do that one stopper. So we're going to see how that plays out tonight. But regardless, right now, Brian trying to have a career qualifying effort right now. And speaking of a qualifying effort, our pole sitter as of right now just put out a blister of a lap. Got down into the 15s. He has almost a second now on Nick Dahi, and that was on the soft compound, which is the middle of the road compound for tonight. It wasn't even the fast tire that McSendit just threw that lap down. So that, like I said, puts him a whole second over Dahi. Almost a whole second over Dahi. 1.1 seconds over Dan. Oh, and here we go. So Dano now bringing himself up into the mix. Dano, who is now a full-time driver for the Renault, flirted with his first podium at Monaco earlier this season. So much for a blister of a lap. We'll get to Dano in a moment. The man that we were talking about who's trying to find that little bit of speed may have had it is Nick Dahi. Just went purple. He takes over P1, but he went on the ultra soft, so he bested McSendit by a half a second. McSendit is now in the pits. Well, he's trying to race to the pits quickly. Matter of fact, there is Mebe as well. Mebe, a 2-time race winner this season. Both guys trying to get in, make one last effort, as Dahi is looking for his first pole of the season. But by going this ultra soft route, now Dahi is really gonna put a lot of pressure on himself off that start. He's got to capitalize on those ultras before he takes it to the mediums. Let's talk about Dano, though, who's sitting P3 right now. Again, just missed out on his first F1 podium. But, however, in the GT3 League on Tuesday nights, he got his first PRL career win 6 races ago. And then this past Tuesday, came into a last lap move of almost claiming win number 2. Finished second in the race, so he's riding high. Seeing him P3 in qualifying, he's got to be smiling ear to ear right now. So Dano looking strong. He qualified on the softs, so he's got the definite one-stop strategy going on. He's got to be feeling it right now. Now McSendit is still in the pit, so that's going to be it. McSendit is not going to get a chance to get out there and do another lap. Dahi has parked it. He is comfortable. Nope, I lied. There is McSendit. But here's the thing now. McSendit has to fly. Normally on your out lap, you want to take it easy, warm up your tires, warm up your brakes. McSendit has no time to do that. He has got to go full bore on these tires if he wants to get one last lap in. And we're going to go to his fitted, so... Oh. There we go. So currently fitted, he's on the Ultras. If he has to pretty much do 2 complete fast laps on these Ultras... I mean, that's taking away a race lap on these tires. This could be absolutely huge if McSendit really wants to push it and try to get the pole away from Dahi. And here we go. We had another change up top. It's going to be the other Renault, Aerostrike, who got a podium last time here in Hungary last season. So he has jumped up to 3rd place right in front of his teammate. Diego, he's out there. He's currently sitting P5. He wants to try to best himself. Brian Mosser, even though he wasn't able to snag that 3rd spot where he was earlier, still right now sitting 6th. A great qualifying run for the young man in the Toro Rosso. But we got to keep our eyes on Diego and McSendit right now. As McSendit did cross the line, just barely, only a second to spare. So, whew, big roll of the dice there by McSendit. It just did get him to the line, and now it counts. Now he's going to get going. Can he take the pole away from Nick Dahi? McSendit has, as I pull up the records, 4 poles to his name this season. Ties him with Marquesas. So McSendit not only wants prime track position, he wants first place in that category for poles won this season. But again, is it worth it to cost that very valuable lap on these ultra soft tires? But he's going full bore on it. And J-Rod, who has a great qualifying effort right now, he jumps up to P3 in the Red Bull. Diego was able to jump both Renaults, so that knocks Arrow and Dano down to 5th and 6th. We've got Mebe out there as well, currently 8th. We don't normally see him that low on the qualifying order, so we'll have to see what the 2-time winner has in store here for this last lap. Trying to see where these drivers are. Who's going to cross the line first? Here we go, McSendit coming to the line, and he did it. He took it away from Dahi with a masterful lap. Actually, almost 0.8 of a second faster than Dahi. So much for drama there in that last bit. McSendit blows it away with a blistering lap, and it looks like everybody else has crossed the line. So that's going to be it for qualifying. So McSendit does make it 5 poles on the season. So congratulations to the defending champ on a great last run when it counted, made the lap stick. But our top 3 guys, McSendit, Dahi, and J-Rod. Whoa. We've got issues here. J-Rod in a Force India. It's Diego. I'm not sure if this was AI wrecking each other, which they have a tendency to do, but we'll have to see how that plays out. But our 3rd and 4th guys, our top 3 guys all starting on the Ultra Softs. So this means a clean start is absolutely crucial. They've got to get every lap out of those Ultras that they can, then to go on to the mediums to make this a one-stop race. We got to keep an eye on Diego in 4th place. He'll be the first driver starting on the softs. He might be in the catbird seat, utilizing the strategy that he did last week at Hockenheim, going the 2 hardest tires to try to be able to push hard late in the race and cover any gaps there. We got Arrow rounding out the top 5 with Dano, Mosser, Mebe, Prowler, and Chapa. The 2 Haas guys rounding out the top 10. Great runs for those guys. Aletti, AB, Bubba, K-Dog, and Axton rounding out the top 15, with Wolfsburg making his PRL debut tonight, and Soldier 6 rounding out the rest of the field. Metal, what's going on, my man? How you doing tonight? Glad you could join us. We are just about to get started here on this league race. It's 50% of the real-life race distance, so we're looking at 45-ish minutes or so tonight. Heretic, there's my man. How you doing tonight, brother? So, about 45 minutes of action. You know, the guys up front in the Ultra Softs could do a one-stop strategy. They're going to have to play it safe, though, when they get to that medium tire. 4th place on back, who qualified on softs, those are the guys we're going to watch, see how hard they can push those tires and really force the guys on the Ultras to maybe wear out early. And especially McSendit. Now, remember, McSendit had to fly on his outlap. He was trying to beat the timer back to the start-finish line to get that last qualifying run in. So that's going to be key on our pole sitter. Is that going to cost him a lap of that tire in this race? The top 10 drivers are all going to start on the tire they qualified on. Everybody from 11th on back will get a fresh set of their choosing. So we'll see how this plays out. Now, forecast-wise, just some overcast tonight. No chance of rain. The driver's going to get it to end it easy here to close out 2018. No shenanigans. But again, this is a tire-hungry track. In Hungary. See what I did there? But here we go. We're going to do the parade lap. Everybody getting in formation. We'll take it through the order. So the Sauber McSendit sitting on the pole. The Ferrari Adahi. Those gentlemen are 1-2 in the points. Dahi's still looking for his first win of the season, even though he has 8 podiums in 11 races. Still looking for that first win. J-Rod looking for his first podium on the season. Qualified third, but he's on that Ultra. Behind him, Diego, who, again, the heartbreaker last week came up a 1/10 of a second short of his first career win. He'll be starting on the softs, looking to be in a prime position to really push these top 3 guys, maybe wear their tires out. 5th and 6th, we've got the teammates in the Renaults, Arrow and Dano, both drivers. Really hungry. Arrow's got 1 podium to his name this season. Dano's looking for his first. Again, Brian Mosser. Great qualifying run for the Toro Rosso driver. He's been hot on Tuesday nights. He's trying to carry that momentum here to Thursday. Mebe filling in the Mercedes seat. Won the first 2 races of the season. Again, not used to seeing him back here, but Mebe is qualified on the mediums. So Mebe trying to get the hardest tire out of the way, be on the fastest tire near the end of the race. We'll see how that plays out. Now, one got sent to the line, but again, the pair of Haas's, Prowler and Chapa, they're in the top 10. Aletti, your second Ferrari, back in 11th. AB, this is a personal best qualifying effort for AB, so glad to see him up there in the Force India. Bubba's your other Toro Rosso. We got the McLaren of K-Dog. The Williams of Axton, really far back. Axton has scored in every race that he's been in this season, so he is pretty much going to have to go for the hard charger of the race if he wants to get some points in there tonight. Wolfsburg and the other McLaren, again, this is his debut race tonight with Soldier 6, bringing up the rear of the field in the other Williams. Though Soldier could be in a prime seat. Turn 1 can get a little crazy. So Soldier, Wolfsburg, Axton, K-Dog, those guys may not look to push it here in the opening 200 yards and just see how it all plays out. What we're going to do is go back to 5th place for Aerostrike. We're going to hop on board as the lights are out and we are starting the Hungary Grand Prix. See a little bit of wheel spin by Arrow. It looks like up front everybody else gets off clean. We jump to the TV cam as McSendit has clearance over Dahi. J-Rod's looking to the outside for 2nd place. Diego just kind of hanging back, seeing what looks good. There we go, and then Diego makes a move earlier. So he jumps on the Red Bull. He's going to get 3rd place, completely clears him out. And we've got Sector 1 issues, and it looks like it's Chapa and possibly AB back there. As J-Rod, though, fighting back on the outside of turn 3. Oh, Diego really wide off. He's got to be careful, so J-Rod still applying pressure. This is the battle for 3rd, and J-Rod has him cleared. Mebe has already moved up to 6th. So Mebe, and matter of fact, Brian Mosser up to 5th. So Brian and Mebe both looking good early, up a couple positions. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and look at our position change. They're up to, K-Dog is up 4 after the mishap with Chapa. Chapa's the big early loser, lost 7 spots. We'll see how that plays out. Oh, Brian Mosser went wide. Huge mistake there by Brian. Car is intact though, no damage, but that allowed Mebe by. So Mebe now +3, finds himself in the top 5. Brian now under attack from Aerostrike. And there goes Aletti. Aletti's had a good start to this race. He tried to make a move under Dano, but it wasn't quite there. Didn't want to risk the contact. As they go into the final turn, Brian Mosser, the meat and the Renault sandwich there. And is Brian coming in? Oh, Brian is coming in. He did. The Toro Rosso unfortunately lost the left half of the wing. Brian, who was going to have to pit early anyway because he qualified on Ultra Softs, but he's going to definitely have to throw on the mediums, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Prowler, unfortunately, he lost a wing. Here comes Chapa, both Haas guys after qualifying top 10. Wings are broken. Soldier 6, though, bringing up the rear, but kept the car, the wing is attached. So now Soldier can start picking them off one by one as guys having issues. Up front, McSendit has started to pull away. He's got over 2 seconds, so he has DRS easily covered over Dahi. J-Rod lost third place earlier where he qualified, was able to get it back, and now trying to bring the pressure back to Dahi. He is within DRS. And then Diego is within DRS, but then there's 2 seconds back to Mebe in 5th. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th here, as they start the 3rd lap, are going to have the DRS advantage. Riding around with the Ferrari as he's trying to open up on J-Rod, just flirting with that DRS. Remember, the front stretch is a decently sized DRS zone. It can set up a nice overtake. You get some good slipstream going to turn 1. Between turns 1 and 2 is a short DRS zone. It really doesn't set you up. So getting DRS right here is going to be key. It looked like J-Rod was just able to cover it there at the last moment. And here we go on the front stretch. But you know what? The DRS zone started before the start-finish line, so technically no DRS here. It would have to be after turn number 1. J-Rod still trying to make sure he's in there with Dahi as McSendit continues to pull away. We hop on board with the Red Bull. He could not get DRS there either. He must have been just right outside that 1 second zone for a brief moment, but still trying to apply the pressure to Dahi. Diego, I know, wants to be up there with these guys, starting on that soft tire, trying to push these ultra soft guys to maybe ruin their tires a little bit earlier than they would want to. Mebe, starting on the mediums. He was back in 8th. He's 3 positions early. That front wing is intact. The Mercedes is looking good right now. He's got the guys in front of him trying to chase him down even though he's on the slowest tire. That's going to work out to his advantage later in the race when he gets on the fastest tire. And here comes our first penalty. Unfortunately, it is going to be 10th place Bubba is going to get the first 3-second penalty as he is under attack from Wolfsburg. Again, Wolf making his PRL debut. We hop on board with the McLaren. This is the battle for the last point as Bubba throws some dirt in his face. Bubba goes really wide. Wolf plays it easy. He's doing a conservative right now. Oh no! As I say that, he goes in too hard. But no harm, no foul. Gave Bubba a little bump. You know, does the sportsman thing, gives Bubba the position as both guys outbrake themselves. And look at this, here comes Axton. Bubba and Wolf both missed their braking point. Almost a little bit of contact there. There may have been some net code, maybe a little tire on tire, but all the positions hold. Here we go. Are we going to have 3 wide going down into turn 1 as DRS opens? And yes, we do. Wolf's going on the middle, on the inside, Bubba in the middle, Axton on the outside. And Wolf's going to take... Yes, wait. Come on, cameraman, where are we at? Wolf takes a position and Axton clears Bubba. So Wolf is 10th, Axton up to 11th, and Bubba down to 12th. Great 3-wide action on the front stretch there as these guys are battling for that final point. Just 4 laps into this race. Now what this has done, though, is allowed K-Dog and Aletti to gain some spots. Matter of fact, K-Dog is our big mover of the race right now. He is +6, up in 8th place right now. He's ahead of that 3-wide action. He's trying to chase down the Renaults of Aerostrike and Dano. J-Rod is starting to fall back of Dahi into the clutches of Diego. We hop on board the Force India. Remember, these guys in practice were complaining about trying to go 5 laps on these Ultra Softs. I think at this point, they're maybe trying to be extra conservative on these tires. Maybe go 6 laps, maybe even 7 if they can. But by doing so with J-Rod, this is allowing Diego to get this DRS run. Is he going to do it? He's going to take a peek. Here we go. A late break action by Diego. They're wheel to wheel. J-Rod, though, does he get that outside momentum? Yes, he is. So they're still wheel to wheel. J-Rod now has the preferred line. Diego gets on the brakes early, trying to go for an over-under that wasn't quite there. That was beautifully defended by J-Rod. Great job by the Red Bull driver. He is going to maintain 3rd. Now the 2 drivers behind him, Mebe and Aerostrike, this is what they want to see. The more J-Rod and Diego battle, the more it's going to slow those 2 guys down and let the 2 behind them come up. And we just had a pit stop. This is going to be Bubba now bringing it into the pits. So our top 12 drivers have been able to stay away from damage. Our bottom 5 guys right now have already made a pit stop, and it's going to be very challenging for them to take that set of medium tires as Diego is still bringing the pressure on to J-Rod. Here we go. Nope, thinks better of a late dive there into that right-hander. Diego knows he's going to have DRS on this front stretch, trying to stay as close as possible to the back of the Red Bull. And J-Rod's having none of it. J-Rod's going to be the first of the leaders to pit. So J-Rod here on lap number 6 is bringing in the Red Bull. He is getting off those Ultra Softs. more than likely, I guarantee he's going on the medium tire. So it's going to allow Mebe now to move up to 4th. Arrow, Dano, K-Dog, all these guys are going to gain positions. Now here's the problem with an early pit, and we're going to see this, is how much traffic does J-Rod come out into? And here we go. So he's going to join back in 10th place. Axton went ahead and pit. And so J-Rod, actually for the most part, this is not terrible for J-Rod. So he's got Wolfsburg a couple seconds ahead, but then a huge gap in front of Wolfsburg, 10 seconds from 8th place. So if J-Rod can make quick work in the McLaren, and then he'll have a lot of empty track to work with, this might be a really good call by the Red Bull. So back up front. Aerostrike still staying within DRS of Mebe. Matter of fact, we've got Aleti and K-Dog. They're in a close battle as well. K-Dog up in 7th, leading the Ferrari, who is in DRS. These are our 2 points battles going on right now. Everybody else behind them pretty spread out, but that's also, primarily due to the early pit stops that have been happening. And here we go, the leader is in. McSendit, he brings it in on lap number 7. He went one more lap than J-Rod as the Sauber comes into the final pit stall. Am I seeing that right? Yes, McSendit is not going the mediums. McSendit is jumping on the softs. So, bold play here by McSendit. We were expecting ultras into mediums would be the one-stop strategy, but McSendit is going to try to make it 28 laps on these soft tires. We'll have to see how this goes. Not a shocker, though. Talked about Nick Dahi. He's still out there on his ultras, though Diego is starting to chase him down. We talked about Dahi has a history of being a great tire manager. So if he's able to get a couple extra laps here on these ultras, even though he's got Diego and Mebe and the guys starting to close in on him, that's just going to help him out when he does pit for softs, and then he's able to go that much harder. Diego all over the back of Dahi. Big time wheel spin for Dahi, and he's going to bring it in. I don't know. It didn't look like he was going to be committed at first, but maybe that big time wheel spins, it had Dahi thinking better of it. So he's going to go ahead and bring the Ferrari in. We're going to see how this plays out with McSendit. So McSendit, though, is already on the front stretch. So looking good right now. Dahi, he's already gotten his tires and he's out, but McSendit's already passed him. Matter of fact, J-Rod. All right, J-Rod's on the front stretch now. Dahi's just leaving pit road. So Dahi has J-Rod covered. So our top 3 right now, though McSendit was able to really widen that gap to Dahi. Dahi was able to gain over J-Rod. But our top 3 guys are able to come out in a little bit of clean track, except McSendit, though, has caught to the back of this battle here between Aleti and K-Dog, which is now a battle for 5th. And they got the champ breathing down their neck. And I will say, so, Mebe, it just flashed on the screen. There's a 3-second penalty from the driver currently in 2nd place. Remember, Mebe started on those mediums. He is looking to take it as far as possible, maybe go on ultras at the very end of this race and absolutely fly. We'll have to see how that plays out. Aleti, a little bit of mistake there from the Williams driver, McSendit. Beautiful. Just saw it coming, was able to capitalize, really didn't cost him a lot of time there. So, one great pass by McSendit. And the quicker he can get by these guys on older tires, that's just going to make it that much of a better gap if Dahi or J-Rod struggle when they catch up to him. McSendit's going to have DRS behind the McLaren. He's already pulling out wide. K-Dog knows he's at the wrong side of this tire battle. Doesn't defend. McSendit's going to take 5th place. And, great sportsman by K-Dog, but also a smart play as well. The fact that he didn't fight McSendit allowed McSendit to make a quick, clean pass. K-Dog tucks in right behind him, and it does not allow Aleti to try to close in and gain that spot over K-Dog as well. So smart play for the McLaren driver. Gives up a spot to keep a spot. Diego now starting to run away from Mebe. Diego out front after the early pit cycles from our guys who qualified on ultras. He's got 3.5 seconds over second place. Diego qualified on these softs. Mebe qualified on the mediums. The drivers are going to swap tires when they make their pit stops later on in this race. Aero Strike within DRS of Mebe, trying just to hang with him. He's got 4.5 seconds on his teammate Dano back in fourth place. And Dano is about to get a mirror full of Sauber. Oh, we got a Sector 2 yellow. I saw AB dropped a spot. I think... No, it's not AB. Is it Mosser? Oh, okay, so it was Brian Mosser. It looks like he went for a little bit of a spin, but the wing is intact. So, Brian, though, a little bit of a shot in the foot there. These mediums don't have a ton of grip. Brian's car does not seem to be liking him right now, but unfortunately, he had to have a lap 1 pit stop after qualifying on the Ultras. He was not able to go Ultras and Softs. He's got the medium on, and at this point, he is just trying to make it last. Going back to our battle for fourth place as McSennett has closed the gap on Dano. Remember, McSennett was our leader. He's already pit on fresh tires. Dano is looking about 10 laps on those tires right now when you include the 1 lap that he did in quali. So McSennett with a pretty significant tire advantage right now. Again, such a hard track to pass at outside of turn 1. You almost need the driver to really make the mistake, except right there. So Dano caught a little bit of curb, couldn't accelerate it the way he wanted to, and McSennett just took full advantage of it. Dano's tucked in right behind him, though. Dano wants to be able to get this DRS, see if he can fight back or at least keep pace with the Sauber. There was the DRS commit line, so Dano is going to have it on the front stretch. You see McSennett, though, with a great run off turn 14. Dano opens up DRS, but McSennett is still running away with it, so no mood to be had in turn 1. McSennett's going to secure fourth. Dano, though, just trying to, right now, just hold pace if he can. Use that DRS, use that slipstream, stay in behind McSennett and see if he can gain on the drivers ahead of him. Aero Strike now getting closer and closer to Mebe as the battle for second is starting to heat up. As this is all playing out, let's go ahead and we're going to go through the field real quick, do a quick recap, and I'll jump back to this battle as soon as I see it close in a little bit more. But Diego, right now, your leader. Qualified fourth, first driver on the soft tire. The top 3 guys have already pitted. He inherited the lead. Mebe, he's up 6 positions. He's qualified 8th. He was the first driver to qualify on the medium tire, but he has 3-second penalty to his name. You got Aero Strike. He's up a couple positions, qualified on the stop. He still has a pit stop to make. McSennett, your pole sitter, qualified on Ultras, already made his pit stop on the softs, though. It will be interesting to see, can he make this soft go the rest of the way, or is he going for a 2-stop strategy and maybe throwing Ultras back on? We'll have to see how that plays out. Dano still has yet to make his pit stop. He is holding down 5th place right now. K-Dog, the big mover of the race, he's +8 right now in his McLaren. Qualified outside the top 10, so he had a fresh set of soft tires that he started on, so things are looking really good right now. And here we go. Dahi getting around his teammate Aleti. So Dahi qualified 2nd. He already pitted. He's working his way up through the field now, so great teamwork there. Aleti, knowing that he's on a different strategy from his teammate, lets Dahi by with no fight at all there. Now Dahi to try to get up there and get into K-Dog. Not literally, figuratively. These guys aren't going to purposely wreck each other. All right, though. Aleti, he's up 3 spots again. Qualified outside the top 10. Finds himself in the points right now. J-Rod. Oh, no, and you know what? J-Rod must have been... I wonder if J-Rod was one of these yellows. So J-Rod qualified 3rd. He was running 3rd when he made his pit stop getting off the Ultras. He's on the medium tire, but really off pace right now, having some big-time issues. The wing is intact here on the Red Bull, but he is not locking this tire compound. We've seen this from a couple drivers already. But J-Rod is 8 seconds back of Aleti. He does not have to pit again, but we'll have to see how this pace holds up compared to everybody else. We got to give a shout-out here to 10th place right now. PRL debut for Wolfsburg. He's in the final point spot right now. He's +6. So Wolf made a couple good moves early, gained some spots. He still has a pit stop to make. Prowler qualified top 10, but had to make an early pit stop, though, to fix a wing. So Prowler's on these softs. He's gonna have another pit stop to make, and that was a Williams. I believe that was Soldier 6 having issues there in turn 13, just trying to get out of the way from everybody else. And he's gonna make a pit stop there. So unfortunately, Soldier not having the race he was hoping for. And here we go. Prowler making a run. Wolf protected the inside. He's got Axton behind him. This is a 3-car battle here for 10th place. Prowler was able to get full overtake there, and he is going to make a nice and smooth pass. Now Axton is onto the attack of Wolfsburg. Remember, Wolf is on these original softs, so they're starting to wear out right now. He is not liking that tire. He just lost 2 positions, but he's going to be within DRS. He's just trying to hold it, though he's got to stay away from kicking up dirt like that. That will not help. What will help him, though, is if Axton goes onto the attack of Prowler. As we're watching this action, Nick Dahi just got around K-Dog. So again, K-Dog probably doing the smart thing there. I'm sure K-Dog wasn't fighting him too hard, especially if it was going into turn 1. He's going to try to tuck in, make sure he doesn't give up any time to Aletti. K-Dog knows that's who he's really battling for position. He's on a different strategy than Dahi. So Dahi now up to 6. He's got 3.5 seconds to get the Renault of Dano. Dahi right now is really about 10 seconds behind McSendit. Remember, Dahi and McSendit was leading. They were 1-2 before the round of pit stops. McSendit had about 4 seconds on Dahi. After the pit stops, after dealing with some traffic, Dahi is 10 seconds behind. So McSendit looking really good right now. If he's going to try to make it 9 wins in a row, and looking good right now is Axton using DRS. Got the inside line over Prowler. And he's going to take the position. So now move Axton up to the point, but Prowler's not done. Prowler looking to bring the fight back. No move to be had yet as he tucks in line behind the Williams, or excuse me, the Williams of Axton. Going wild. Oh, great counter steer there by Prowler. That could have been absolutely disastrous. But the Haas driver, wheeling and dealing, was able to catch that slide. Lost him a couple tenths, but it's a hell of a lot better than losing a tire or a front wing. So, Prowler giving us a show here on the broadcast with a great slide and catch there, but that's going to allow Axton to pull away. And here we go up front. Dano is going to be the first of the soft drivers to pit. The mediums are on. This is going to be it. And why is he stopped? Not really sure what that delay was leaving the pits, but fortunately it seemed to be another 3 or 4 seconds. Dano even chiming in while he was... Oh, if Dano cost himself 3 seconds by typing in chat, shame on you, my man. But Dano actually had some... Oh, no, Dano! As we're talking about him, slides it out of turn 1 into grass. Remember, these medium tires, they can go the longest, but the grip is really not good, especially when they're cold, and we just saw that at the Renault driver. But Dano, who is dealing with a damaged front wing, I don't know how broken it was, but a damaged front wing, now looking to try to make up time, but again, he's pushed it a little bit too hard on those mediums at a pit road, almost hit the wall, but cost himself a couple seconds. The car is still intact, however. That's the important part. Now it's his teammate's turn. Aerostrike is going to pit on the next lap. We got teamwork happening there, making sure both guys don't end up going at the same time and stacking up on one another. Aero throws on the mediums. This is going to be his one and only pit stop. McSendit got by. Dahi gets by. Matter of fact, and even K-Dog got by. So K-Dog put him up to P5 right now. +9 in this race. Now, granted, K-Dog still has to make his pit stop along with Diego and Mebe, but hats off to K-Dog being able to keep the front wing on that McLaren in this race, having a nice, smooth run right now. We got to go up to the battle for second as McSendit has caught the back of Mebe. Remember, Mebe qualified on mediums, so Mebe can still probably go another 10 laps or so if he wishes on those tires, and then he'll have the fastest tire when the car is at its lightest after it burned off most of its fuel. So Mebe is going to be, I definitely call Mebe a favorite for fastest lap of the race here after he makes his pit stop. Though he goes wide there in turn 13. McSendit a little too far back to capitalize, but well within DRS. So we'll see how it plays here out of turn 14. DRS opens up on the Sauber, trying to close in on the Mercedes. As we've got lap drive. Oh, this could be very dangerous. So we got a little bit of contact there. It was side panel on side panel. I don't think any wing damage on Mebe. But, I mean, and that was nothing against Wolfberg. He did nothing wrong. We talked about it in the track tour, though. The way pit road exits directly into turn one, McSendit trying to use the inside line on Mebe, and Wolfsburg coming out of the pit was right there. So, again, we pride ourselves on the guys who are maybe not having good races or lap down or whatnot, serving blue flags. Wolfberg didn't even have a chance. Like, that could have been a very dangerous situation. All drivers handled it beautifully, though. Wolfberg was able to get out of the way. McSendit and Mebe did have a little, wheel-on-wheel contact. No broken wings, though. It was just one of those kind of, heads-up moments by both guys. Made it through. But, man, spicy moment here as we're halfway through this race. McSendit's going to jump up to second. He's 8 seconds behind Diego, who still has to make his pit stop. Diego! Wow, our leader almost bend it there on the entrance of turn 14. Some big-time wheel spin. Was able to catch it, but it cost him a chunk of time. So now McSendit was able to gain almost a half second on Diego after that big-time wheel spin. He's within 8 seconds of our leader now. He's got Mebe in tow. Got a big gap back to Dahi. Dahi's already pitted, though. Assuming Dahi is good to go to the end of this race. We'll have to see how that plays out. And here we go. K-Dog's going to give up P5. Remember, this McLaren qualified 14th. Was able to start on a fresh set of softs. Now he's going to throw on the mediums and go to the end of this race. There he goes, in and out. So, he's already down the 7th. Or see where, here comes the Letty, down the front stretch. We've got a drag race to turn one as K-Dog has exited pit road, and he's going to stay in front of the Ferrari. And behind him, we've got Dano and Axton. There we go. So, Dano, who unfortunately had to change a wing, had a half spin that cost him a chunk of time. He was flirting with top 5 earlier in this race. Now finds him back himself. He was in 10th. Now he's in 9th after making the move on Axton. It's K-Dog cleared a Letty, exiting pit road, but now the Ferrari and the McLaren are going to go at it again. These guys have been around each other pretty much all race. And what was that? That looked like an very unfortunate case of netcode from Letty. It didn't look like Letty was close enough to touch the back of K-Dog, but we saw a piece of fiberglass, unfortunately, just go flying. And that's a killer for that Ferrari, who's going to have to make another pit stop. I mean, he can technically go to the end of this race, but man, on a track like this, you can't have a broken wing, and unfortunately, that's a very broken wing for Letty. Absolutely heartbreaking for the Ferrari driver. And again, it looked like a really bad case of netcode. And nope, he's going to stay out. But he went wide. It's going to give Dano the preferred position. Dano's going to have him cleared. And now Axton's going to look to make a move on the Ferrari driver. We hop on board the Williams. He's got a great run. Actually, can he even maybe make a late break? Nope, Dano's a little bit too out of reach. He's going to have the Ferrari cleared, though, and now he can focus on the Renault to try to get that spot back. K-Dog wants to see this. He wants these guys to mix it up, to see if he can pull away. Dano with a really nice run, though. Got a couple car lengths on Axton. These two drivers, both of them experienced huge heartbreak at Monaco. It was Axton in 4th place, Dano in 5th place. Diego in front of him with a time penalty. Both drivers within 3 seconds Diego. It was Axton who ran out of gas out of the final turn leading the front stretch, which then slowed up Dano just enough to have Dano miss out on his first career podium by a couple tenths of a second. Both of them absolutely heartbroken about it. So now they find themselves near each other again on track, but with plenty of fuel this time, as we still have 15 laps in this race. All right, this is a stunned silence. I believe what we're seeing here, as we are watching all that action, McSendit did go for another stop. He was not able to go ultras, soft ultras. Instead, he goes ultra, soft, softs. Diego made his pit stop as well, and he is in front of our pole sitter. So this is going to be huge. Now, Dahi looking to try to make a one-stop. We'll have to see how this plays out as he has a 6-second lead now. But the two drivers are going to have a lot of tire advantage on him. As you see, Dahi already has 12 laps on those soft tires. As Diego now wants to chase down Dahi, but he knows he is going to have to do some amazing defending here in the last 15 laps to keep McSendit behind him. And Diego is on the medium tire, so McSendit does have this early advantage. Diego with a great run out of turn 14, however. Even with the DRS, he was able to pull away. McSendit's not going to be able to capitalize here going into turn 1. He's going to send a late break, though, to try to close that gap. As they come into turn 2, no move to be made, so Diego's still going to hold the position, and both drivers are actually really chasing down Dahi. So at this point, I'm wondering, as far off pace as Dahi is, Dahi may be going for a two-lapper as well, or excuse me, a two-stopper as well. We'll have to see how this pans out. A couple seconds behind these guys, though, is Mebe. 2.5 seconds behind. Remember, Mebe qualified 8th, started on the medium tire, was able to run him beautifully. He's jumped on the soft. So Mebe, along with McSendit, has an early tire advantage over Diego. Behind him, Aerostrike, holding down 5th. J-Rod, currently in 6th. Remember, J-Rod qualified 3rd, but he has 15 laps on the medium tire already. All right, as we come out of the final couple corners, we're going to hop on board the Sauber here as he gets DRS. All right, Diego was not able to get a great run this time. He's got McSendit in tow. McSendit's going to swing out with the DRS. They're wheel-to-wheel going in the braking zone of turn 1. Diego has the preferred, but... yes, so Diego was able to make that preferred line work. McSendit was trying to hang out, trying to keep that overlap, so this way he could get the inside line here in turn 2, but it wasn't to be had. So Diego, which I believe we're seeing some latency. I know Diego is not wheeling and dealing the car that much, so a little bit of latency issue, and that's something McSendit's got to think about. Make sure he doesn't get any damage here with Diego's car bouncing around a little bit. And what this has done as well is, check it out, Mebe is closing in. He's within 2 seconds now of these guys. So Mebe's looking pretty good if he wants to join this battle, which could be a potential battle for the lead, because everybody is reeling in Dahi right now. Though, here comes lap traffic. AB moving to the inside, getting out of the way. As a lag spike there, that was super close. You saw Diego's car bounce back a little bit. Luckily, it didn't bounce back fully into the wing of McSendit, causing damage, so scary moment there. Fortunately, this is one thing that, can happen when we're talking about esports racing, is a little bit of a connection issue can be insanely dangerous with these guys. And here we go. Dahi brought it in. Dahi knew he could do it. He was losing too much time, so he's going to pit now. He's going to try to utilize as much as he can out of those soft tires and maybe race himself back up into a podium position. Wolfberg went off track there, trying to get away from the leaders. Does not want to impede this battle. McSendit's going to go on the high side around corner 2. Can he make it stick? Oh, there was a little bit. I think the latency finally came into play there. McSendit had the line. It looked like Diego kind of lagged him to a little bit. So McSendit's going to get the spot. Diego is still trying to recover, and that's going to allow Mebe by for second. So Mebe having an amazing run right now. He is +6 as he has jumped up to P2. 2.5 behind McSendit. Both drivers, though, are on the same tire with the same amount of laps. So now it's mano a mano between McSendit and Mebe. Though Mebe needs to gain about a half second to get within DRS of the defending champ. And as all this was happening, it looked like we've had our... Oh no! Bubba as well. So we're going to follow AB around real quick. I think AB may be an extra lap. Oh, there's Bubba. It looks like Bubba caught the inside wall out of the chicane. And unfortunately, that's going to be it for the Toro Rosso machine. We're not sure what happened to Chapa. Soldier retired earlier on. That was a mechanical issue. But it looks like in close time proximity, Chapa and Bubba both, unfortunately, have wrecked their vehicles. So tough tough race, especially Chap, who qualified top 10, was looking to have a good run in that Haas, but not to be had tonight, unfortunately. So back up front, Mebe is holding ground. It's still staying about a second and a half between himself and McSendit. Diego. Now here's the interesting thing. So McSendit and Mebe had the early tire advantage. As these laps kick down, that medium tire on Diego should be the better tire. So we're going to see if Diego is able to catch these guys back and get that top spot back. This was the trio last week at Hockenheim that gave us that incredible ending to the race. This was our podium, McSendit, Mebe, and Diego. Again, looking to try to claim the steps tonight at Hungary. We've got, about to have 11 more laps to go as McSendit comes to cross the line. He's able to gain a 10th on Mebe that last lap. Actually, a couple tenths. It looks like Mebe had a really poor exit there off turn 14, and McSendit was able to grab a couple tenths on him. And that allowed Diego to now close in within DRS. But DRS did not open on the Force India car. We'll see if that's fixed this time around. Again, DRS is not opening, so I'm wondering if Diego is having an equipment failure here. There is, in this game, I don't know why it has it, but there is random mechanical failures for these cars. So the DRS can break and won't open up for drivers. We've even had reports in some of our other leagues. On our PC league, they had an issue where the DRS didn't close and caused a driver to wreck when he tried to slow down for a turn. So, not a component we are actually a fan of here at the PRL. We wish we could turn off the random mechanical issues and just have it come down between the drivers, but that's something that looks like it might be coming into play. We'll keep an eye on Diego as he gets back to the front stretch because he's still within DRS zone of Mebe. We'll see how this plays out for the Force India driver, if he's able to get DRS and then try to close Mebe in, because right now McSendit is starting to run away with it. Over the last lap, McSendit was able to gain about a second and a half, or excuse me, final 2 laps. That 1.5 second lead is now up to 3 as McSendit just went purple. Fastest lap of the race. And this time the DRS opens up for Diego. So Diego was, he had to sacrifice 1 lap for DRS, but it is open. It is working in. It's going to allow Diego to potentially start making the attack on Mebe. But he's got to close up here in sectors 2 and 3 if he wants to make a move down the front stretch. Now, with all this jostling around, Arrow's holding 4th. J-Rod up to 5th. And Dahi just got around. Actually, no, excuse me. Dahi is now bringing the fight to J-Rod. This is a top 5 battle. Dahi qualified 2nd, was running 2nd, had to do a 2-stop strategy though. Dahi with a great run. And he's going to make an outside move work. What a power move there on the Ferrari. Now, this was, though, that's not normally a spot you see passing. However, when you're talking about a fresh set of soft tires versus a really worn out set of mediums, that's the kind of things you'll see happen. J-Rod has speed in that Red Bull, but he went on a different pit strategy, so he is on really old tires that allow Dahi to make a move stick that you normally would not see here at the Hungary. K-Dog back in 7th place right now. He's about to start being under attack from Dano. Remember, Dano was up in that 5th, 6th place until some pit issues. Had a change of wing, cost him some time. Spun it outside of turn 1. Well, half spun it outside of turn 1 on these when these mediums were fresh and still green. He's trying to recover now and looking to take the spot from the McLaren. K-Dog and Dano are no strangers to each other. They have given us 2 of the most incredible finishes that we have seen in the Tuesday Night Project Cars GT3 League. It was in Long Beach, where Dano and K-Dog were banging doors, which saw Dano ended up winning his first career race. This past Tuesday night at the Texas Road, Dano and K-Dog again, last lap, banging doors. This time saw K-Dog the victor. Now there are no doors, there are no fenders. Those guys can't be as aggressive as they can be in the GT3 cars. But Dano trying to fight back on K-Dog, take the spot, and give him a little neener as he drives by to make up for Tuesday night. And Bubba's joined the track. Yeah, unfortunately, my man, we didn't catch the wreck, but we saw your car parked down there. I figure as the exit of the chicane, did you go a little wide, catch grass, and spin to the left? Because that's the way your car was nose planted. That's kind of what I was guessing when I saw it. All right, we're going to have to break away for this battle for 7th real quick because we got ourselves a battle up front. Diego has closed the gap on Mebe. He was able to utilize the DRS down the front stretch. Oh, man, this is going to be very dangerous, though, because this latency issue we're having with Diego tonight. We're seeing the car still be very... on these quick back-and-forth turns, it seems to where it be, most risky. Yeah, I really haven't seen any issues down the front stretch or some of the, more steady turns. It's really turns 3, 4, and 5, kind of those fast, kind of jerky back and forth turns is where the latency really pokes its head in with Diego. So we'll have to see how this plays out as he tries to bring the attack to Mebe. Mebe, though, does have a 3-second penalty to his name. I'm not sure about Diego. We'll have to check that out pretty much as they cross the line and see what happens. McSendit, though, is, speaking of checking out, McSendit now has a 5-second lead over this battle for 2nd place. So our pole sitter currently has the fastest lap of the race. He is looking pretty good to make it 9 wins in a row. Diego did not have a clean pair of turns there to end that lap. Still within DRS, but there's no move to be made there in turn 1. All right, now he's going to get a little burst of DRS here going to turn 2. Again, too far back, no move to be made. But this is the point now where we're seeing at the 10-lap mark where these medium tires starting to be a little bit quicker than the soft. Though, Mebe has it hooked up right now. He's able to gain another 10th or so on Diego, trying to see if he can get that Force India out of DRS. Oh, and there's another. All right, Sector 3. Let's see who's around Sector 3. We're going to ride with McSendit because this time it's going to be AB and the Force India, unfortunately. Actually, we're going to break off. We've got a battle. So Dano was able to get side-by-side with K-Dog. Couldn't make the move stick. K-Dog with good defending. He's going to hold on to 7th right now, but the Renault is on the fresher tire. There's... Actually, no, not on the fresher tire. K-Dog's got... So pretty much the tires are heads up. So Dano, though, with a better qualifying pace, we'll say that, trying to put the pressure on the McLaren driver. Again, these two no strangers for one another. And they're a good dozen seconds back of J-Rod. So Dano, maybe knowing no other position is really in play, might take his time to see how he can set up K-Dog and make a pass stick. They have, and he also, too, he's not under any pressure either, as these two have a 15.5-second gap back to Axton. So it's just K-Dog and Dano right now, the McLaren and the Renault. Nobody else to worry about. It's mano-a-mano between these guys for 7th place. Dano utilizing DRS. Gaining a couple car lengths, but no move to be had here in turn 1. K-Dog with a nice solid run. He's going to hold that gap. No move to be made in turn 2. All right, we're going to break away for this battle real quick just to go back up front. So Diego, here we go, on the front stretch, has DRS on Mebe. 0.4 of a second back. He's starting to close in. Mebe can sense it. Is Mebe going to take the defensive line? Yes, he is. So Mebe is trying to cover the inside line. He wants the preferred line through turn 1. And he's able to defend. It looked like a little bit of tire-on-tire contact there, but again, with the way we've seen Diego's car bounce around a little bit, oh my goodness, he just sucked up into the back of Mebe. It's hard to tell if that was latency or not, but luckily, neither driver really affected. It looks like thankfully Diego's wing is still intact, so I'm not sure if that was real contact. I'm assuming that was netcode contact, but thankfully, too, it did not hinder Mebe. I mean, McSendit was already starting to run away from these guys anyway, so it cost him a few tenths, but... Oh, I think that, though, was some wheel spin by Diego. We're going to jump back. We're going to keep the eye. We got 2 battles going on. Realistically, we're trying to see the battles as they go down the front stretch, so we know that's the key passing opportunity. So Dano, these guys just went through turns 1 and 2. Dano, again, not able to capitalize. K-Dog holding down that position. These are the only 2 DRS battles going on right now. The battle for 3rd, the battle for 7th, so we're going to keep bouncing back and forth. Diego this time a lot closer. You see Mebe already immediately thinking about going to the inside. He's waiting for Diego to go a little bit lower. There he goes. So Mebe makes his defensive move. He's going to hold it. It's going to force Diego to try to go on the outside again. It looked like maybe Diego at that time was thinking over-under, but the move just not quite there yet. Running to turn 2 is not there yet. So Mebe's going to hold position. And McSendon's loving this. This is just allowing him more free time, and now it's almost a 7-second lead for our 2-time defending champ. Let's jump back as they're entering the front stretch. Dano opens up DRS, chasing down the McLaren. K-Dog washing his mirrors, sees Dano's too far back, no need to try to defend that inside line. Look at Dano close right up to the back of him in turn 1, though. Dano's going to get this little burst of DRS. Couple car lengths back. No move to be had going into turn 2. K-Dog's going to hold position. And then Dano goes extremely wide there. Gonna cost him a little bit. Gives K-Dog a little bit of breathing room, but still well within DRS. Let's go back up front as they're coming out of turn 14. It is great. These 2 battles are like perfectly positioned where we can keep going back to the DRS zone. And here we go. This is as close as Diego has been to Mebe in the last handful of laps. Mebe really going inside. Diego, this is the best run he's had. He's still got wheel and wheel. Where's the camera? There we go. As they're coming around. Now Diego's going to have the preferred line going into turn 2. Again, wheel on wheel. And Diego's going to clear him this time. Great, hard fighting battle there. Those guys not afraid to touch some tires, kick up a little smoke. No dirty play to be had. Just good, hard, clean racing. Mebe there had a great run through that left-hander. Almost got into the back of Diego. No harm, no foul. All right, let's jump back. So we saw K-Dog. Now, K-Dog was plenty ahead. That was not a double defensive. Oh, Dano really hard in on the brakes. Looks like he was able to wall it up enough. It's going to give K-Dog the position back. He didn't want to gain on a dirty dive bomb. So great sportsmanship between the two who admit they love racing hard together. Just got to be a little bit more careful on these open wheelers compared to his not really stock cars, but production cars that they have on Tuesday nights where you can beat and bang a little bit and get away with it. All right, let's go back up front. Let's see what Mebe has in store for Diego. Though it looked like Mebe might be outside the DRS. As a matter of fact, he is. So huge lap for Diego. Was able to get around Mebe in turn 2 and was able to secure that second lead. So this might be it for the battle for second outside of a mistake being made. As we go back now for the battle of 7th. The closest battle we have on the track for position. We'll see coming out of turn 14 with only 2 more laps to go. Dano knows he's starting to run out of time. The DRS is open. He's half a second back. No move to be had. As a matter of fact, I've been so caught up in watching these back and forth battles that we have. Matter of fact, Mebe is back in DRS as well. Dano has a broken left wing. So the fact that Dano is even holding up this close to K-Dog is really a testament to the Renault driver on how well his pace has been. But I'm wondering if maybe there was a late break gone wrong that may have caused that damage to Dano, because I could have swore that wing was attacked a couple laps ago. But Dano is not done fighting. And here we go. McSendon has taken the white flag. McSendon looking for 9 wins in a row with a 9-second lead. Diego in second. Now, Mebe has DRS, but you see he is many car lengths back. So no move to be had in this podium battle. McSendon, Diego, Mebe. This was the podium 1 week ago at Hockenheim. Mebe wants to try to at least reverse one spot here as McSendon who has not had a tremendous amount of camera time. He's been up front, is kind of pacing himself. Oh, and Mebe with another penalty. So even if Mebe gets around Diego, that's pretty much going to secure second place for Diego as long as there's no huge off by either driver. Extender right now, though, in cruise control as he's in Sector 3 behind Aletti. So it looks like Aletti, I'm sure McSenden's not going to push the issue here, but Aletti would be the last car on the lead lap. All 10 drivers scoring points are going to be on the lead lap tonight. We saw a little blue slime fashion, but at this point, Aletti does not need to park it. McSenden, as he races to the finish line, Aletti does stay on the lead lap, and there it is, win number 9 in a row for the two-time champ, McSenden. Absolutely masterful drive. Here comes Diego as he's going to cross the line second. And Mebe as well went ahead and parked his Mercedes, if you will, with those penalties. Aero strike. Was there enough penalties for him to maybe sneak a podium? No, it's not. So Aero strike will come in fourth. Dahi, though, was able to close up but not make a move. We've got to go back. So J-Rod's sitting in sixth pretty comfortably. We've got to go for the battle, or excuse me, sitting in, sixth comfortably, the battle for seventh, and there was another chunk of wing for Dano. It might be too little too late now as they go into turn 14. The downforce has been affected too much. He cannot hold the inside of the turn, and it's going to be K-Dog taking seventh. Dano is going to finish eighth with a tremendous late race battle between those two drivers. We're going to go just to verify it, and yes, it's going to be K-Dog, who is our hard charger of the race. Second on that list is going to be Axton, who's going to walk away tonight with 2 points, going +6. And just to secure it, to make sure I didn't miss, fastest lap of the race is going to go to McSenden as well, so that is a hat trick for the defending champ tonight. And let's give the other Ferrari some love as Letty now crosses the line. That's going to be a point for the second Ferrari driver. And there we go. The Hungary Grand Prix is now over, and my voice is shot. Heretic, man, I'm glad you enjoyed the show, brother. Man, this was a good one. This really was a good one. We maybe not so much action for the top spot, but we had some good battles going through. So I personally want to give a shout out Mebe, Diego, K-Dog, and Dano for really giving us a show there. Those final 10, 15 laps. That was some really, really good racing. So the exact same podium from 1 week ago. McSenden bringing home win number 9 in a row. Diego, his second straight runner-up finish. Mebe bringing home another podium. Aero and Dahi are going to round out your top 5 with J-Rod, K-Dog, Dano, Axton, and Letty all bringing home points. Prowler, Brian Mosser off the good qualifying runs, unfortunately a little bit short. They're going to fall outside the points. Wolf, though, he did go positive. He went +3 in his PRL debut, so congrats to Wolf on a nice run. He was even up into the top 10 at times, battling for that point. And then AB, Bubba, Chapin, and Soldier, unfortunately, are 4 DNFs of the race. All right, now let's go ahead and get Discord fire up, and we'll do some podium interviews. Well, podium interviews. So I will go ahead and start this out again. 2 second place finishes in a row for Diego, the Mexican representative of our North American League here. He meant, English is not his first language. We're not going to put the pressure on him to jump into Discord. So congrats to Diego. A hell of a run. Again, having an amazing battle with Mebe for the second week in a row. Oh, well-earned podium for Diego. Hats off to him. And again for Mebe as well, who qualified 8th. Went +5 to get into the podium. It was not an easy run at all for Mebe tonight, who is battling almost all race long. So, Mebe, who has 2 wins to his name this season, coming home in 3rd, but no need to hang the chin down low on that one. That was a great run, some great battles. Unfortunately, it seemed like the net code of Diego at times made it a little bit scary, but nothing dirty happened. Some good, hard racing between them guys up front. And there we go, catching up in chat as we wait for Mixendit to get in Discord. The one guy and I will say too, so Mebe does not have a mic, hence the no podium interviews for him. But shout out to Mebe as well. Again, awesome run. We've got Wolf. No, dude, Wolf, thank you, my man. You found the channel. You gave the channel some love, giving the PR some love, giving us a shot. I'm glad you had a good time out there, brother. You know, I gave you props, too. There was that crazy moment when you left pit road, and all of a sudden, there's Mixendit and Mebe, and, you know, you did absolutely nothing wrong. I can only imagine what went in your head, and you're like, oh, my God. I saw it in turn 2. You went wide off course to give the leader some room. But, you know, that's what we like to see here, man. Some great sportsmanship out of you, some great battles. I did get your three-way battle, or, excuse me, the three-wide battle. I believe it was you, Choppa, and Axton, going 3 wide down the front stretch. So great job. Nice, solid debut there, Wolf. I know you probably would have liked to bring home a point or two, but regardless, man, good run, brother. Glad you had fun. And K-Dog, congrats on not getting a warning. And again, you and Dano got a lot of love at the end of that broadcast with you guys having a good battle there. You know, taking the battle you had on Tuesday night and bringing it to Thursday night. We just needed to give you guys a couple more fenders, that's all. And Prowler, yeah, I was so happy to see you and Chappa get both hosses up to the top 10 in qualifying. Unfortunately, just, you know, it'll happen. But hey, man, chin up high. Again, good qualifying effort by you. It's, you know, the points will come. But that was a good effort, man. It really was. And here we go. Now we can do our podium interview. Singular. Really the man, I would say the man of the hour, but the man of the last 2.5 months. The two-time 9 wins in a row. So this one, though, different than in the past. 2-stop strategy. Talk about, now, you were very vocal in Discord chat during practices all week, man. I was really shocked to see you qualifying that Ultra as much as you hated that tire.
Yeah, you know, it was a last-second decision. I crossed the line with like 1 second remaining on Ultra Softs, and the only reason I was even out there was just to cover myself in case a whole bunch of other people decided to do that too. I didn't want to be the only one not. But and yeah, I mean, like, I realized I didn't need to do it about halfway through the lap. It was like, well, looks like no one else is doing this, but I just thought, you know what, let's go all or nothing. Let's go hat trick or nothing tonight. And the only way to do that is do a 2-stop. So,
well, let's talk about it. So we mentioned the broadcast. Now, when you elect to go that, let's face it, crappy tire early, that puts you back in the pack. So, you know, most times you've done the 1-stop. You pretty much have held the lead, had some open track, you know, run away with it. Now this time, you got to work your way up through there.
yeah, they were making me work for it because, you know, there's no like, oh, well, he's a pit stop down, so, or I'm a pit stop down, so I'm just going to let Mixendit by. You know, it's like, I'm on the same amount of pit stops as you are now.
Right, and especially when you made your second stop, and now you find yourself behind Diego. So then that became a spicy battle, which was a great battle. Unfortunately, we did see some desync. So, I mean, you guys were really, it was a good, hard battle. It looked like the desync, unfortunately, you know, cost Diego there, but luckily no damage to either car. You know, it's a part of online racing. We all know it is, but
yeah.
So did you have a little gasp moment there when you saw, because he seemed fine except for, what was it, turns 4 and 5? Like the sharp turns, his car would bounce. So were you trying to plan your attack like outside of those turns?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's no overtaking really through there. It's just like follow the leader. So right. I was kind of having to wait until sector 1, and he was making me go to the outside of turn 1, and there's not a lot you can do out there, really, even if you're on the softer tire. So
unless you're on a, we actually saw Dahi in that area do an outside move on J-Rod, but there was I believe, an 18-lap difference. So that is the hot spot. If you have an 18-lap difference on tires, you can make a move in that area.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Because, yeah, you get on the curb even a little bit on the outside of turn 1, and you're just going to be slipping and sliding. There's nothing you can do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and it's great to see, too. I want to give a shout-out to, you know, the guys in the broadcast can't see this, but in Discord chat, you know, Mebe and Diego, those guys are talking. They knew there was some desync there, but just praising each other after some great racing, and that's what we love seeing. So, good times.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, good times tonight.
Yeah, we do our best, we got these are the tools we have.
Yeah, unfortunately, online racing is not perfect, and you're right, we do our best. But tonight was a great one, though. Like I said, you had to earn it. We had some great battles. Actually, when you watch it back, what was great was the final 10 laps. Mebe and Diego were some great DRS battles. With exactly half a track behind him, it was Dano and K-Dog. So I was able to watch, DRS through 1 and 2, swap to the other, and now they're DRSing through 1 and 2. And it was a constant swapping back and forth. So while you were running away with that win, we got to watch some action.
Nice. That was good timing. Yeah, I guess to that, all I have to say is Merry Christmas to all a good night. Gonna go get some milk and cookies.
Indeed. And actually, so on top of that, let me go ahead before the viewership dies down a little bit. The entire PRL now is off until the new year. No, there's no more league racing until we hit January. So this is the last official broadcast of 2018 here on the Old Man Hoot channel. However, Old Man Hoot's on vacation for 2 weeks, baby. Oh, yeah. There's going to be plenty of iRacing shenanigans going on, especially December 29th. It's going to be probably later in the evening, but the PRL is doing a special Christmas event, 12 hours of Daytona on iRacing. I'm teaming up with Game of Jobs and Aaron Webb. The three of us are in a GTE Ferrari. I wanted a Porsche, but we're in the Ferrari, and we're going to see if we can, team Dirty Oval Racers. Stick it to some of those roast course guys who take that seriously. So we'll see how that plays out. But that is also the littlest Hoot's birthday. So I might be doing the final 4 hours of that 12-hour race. I might lose my damn mind, so you guys might want to watch that just to laugh at me. 4 hours in a good one. 4 hours in the seat is a long goddamn time. It really is.
That is way too long.
Oh, way too long. But all right, with that though, we'll go ahead and make this the official end of this race. Again, congratulations, McSendit, just showing just world-class talent. 9 in a row, unheard of in this league, especially with that 10th of a second win you had last week.
Whew, yeah, that was a sweaty one.
But 9 in a row, and again, Diego and Mebe rounding out the podium, pretty much the exact same podium 2 weeks in a row. And both times being fought for. And that's what we love seeing here on this broadcast. So with that, gentlemen, I say congratulations and a great run tonight.